Hey, Suzanne, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. I am so thrilled to have you here. So, what are you doing currently?
Currently, I work for a global company. I'm a people business partner, which is the newer version, I think, of the human resources business partner. I work for the US, and so I take care of everything recruiting, um, a lot of employee relations issues, putting together handbooks. We're still kind of a new company, so trying to get policies and procedures into place. So all different kind of things, just everyday HR.
Must be so exciting, though, to be with a new company, kind of like at the cutting edge, establishing things, creating those guidelines, really setting everything up from the ground up.
It is exciting, and it's definitely different than what I've done in the past. I've worked at other global companies, but this one's just different. And it's nice to have other people, my peers doing the same thing in other countries so we can all get together and discuss any issues we have. It's just nice to have that support. But overall, yeah, it's just a really good company, and I'm really learning a lot. At this point in my career, I wasn't sure I could learn a whole lot more, but I feel like I still am learning a lot. So it's been a really good experience.
I love that. Right? Like we need to keep learning things and
Yeah.
HR changes, people relations changes, and it's very cool that you get to collaborate with leaders around the world, not just, locally.
Right. I just learning different customs and hopefully getting to go out to those places at some point. We have one in the UK, we have Vancouver in Canada. We have one in India. I'm not sure I'll be getting to that one anytime soon, but yeah, it's definitely interesting just to learn the different cultures and the different ways these other countries do HR.
Wow. And there are a lot of differences. That must be fascinating for you.
It is. It's shocking to me in some respects how it's so different and how here it's just different age-wise and all of that and the way they regard women and all of that kind of thing in different cultures. So it's definitely been an eye-opening experience as well.
Our policies about parental leave are very different than in many other countries.
Yes, yes, absolutely. So it's been interesting.
So what did you do prior to this?
Prior to this, I was also doing HR. I worked for a startup company, so it was kind of similar, putting together policies and procedures in place, getting a lot of, I'm just trying to think, putting an HRIS system in place, which is actually what we're doing now at my new company. So that was a really good experience for me because now at least I kind of have an idea of what we're doing because I came into this kind of late. Um, but, doing a lot of just different things. Again, employee relations, just trying to think now that I'm thinking about it.
I know
Working a
that the
lot with
HRIS, that was something that we were able to talk about and practice with for your interviews, that you had that experience
right.
for this one.
Yes. And I think that that was probably a really good experience for me. And I think it also might have helped a little bit with getting this job because this is exactly what they're doing now. And I'm also writing all the employee handbooks for the US, which is also what I was doing my last job. So that's also giving me that experience. So yeah, I mean, each place I've been to, I just keep building more and more on the experience. So that's been really great, and just a lot of HR generalist type jobs I've had and tasks I've had in the past as well. So I really have a full generalist experience, I would say, with HR.
Truly the foundation of any company, right? People
Right. Yeah.
relations, operations, making sure that employees treat each other well, that managers treat employees appropriately, time off, all those things. So why did we wind up working together? What happened? Why did we wind up, what happened with your last job?
My last job, like I said, was a startup company, and they went out of business. They lost funding, went out of business, and then when I was let go, um, it it was probably, like, the beginning of the worst market in that I have ever encountered. I just had no idea how bad it was out there, but I thought, "Oh, I can get through this," and people kept saying, "Don't worry, you'll get a job." Everything everyone tries to tell you to make you feel better. But then, months went by, and then more months went by, and I had quite a few interviews, but, yeah, I realize now, and especially after working with you, that I wasn't really answering the questions right. And that was a huge part of the problem. I wasn't putting in metrics or any of that type of thing. I wasn't really selling myself like I should have been. But I didn't really realize that at first. I thought I could do this. I've had other jobs, I've had other interviews, but this market has just been something, like I said, it's like been a monster. So, anyways, after quite a few months, I kept seeing a lot of your posts, and so I started watching some of the YouTube videos you had. And I don't know, for some reason I felt like you really got it. Like, you seem to put more out there than a lot of the other coaches did. And I think that that's kind of what drew me in. Like, I felt like you would take more time and this would give me more of what I needed.
Thank you, thank you. So then what was it like when we worked together?
Um, I mean, it was good. At first, it was a little difficult for me because I don't know. I think I really needed a kick in the ass, basically. I kind of I was sort of all over the place. I wasn't really focused. Um, and my resume needed help, and I was not doing cover letters. So, after sitting down with you and going through the cover letters and doing a few, I finally understood, first of all, how to do it, because I was just using AI basically, and that wasn't really helping. Um, so I really understood how to do that, and how to sell myself. That, the more we talked and the more I looked at my resume, I realized I wasn't really, yeah, I wasn't giving metrics or anything. So it was just very generic answers I was giving. And I know you and I talked about that. And I think that that was a big issue for me, kind of holding me up from getting another job.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time mock interviewing. That was what we did
Yes.
most of our sessions,
That's what I really
interviewing and
needed the most help with.
interviewing, and like, okay, past the first level interview, what do we have to do for the second level interview? What do we need for the third level interview? As we elevate and it gets more complicated, what are they asking for now? Right? We did a lot of scenarios, so many stories.
That definitely helped me. That's exactly what I needed, and, it helped build up my confidence, definitely. Because at that point, after I was out for, at that point, I think a year, maybe 13 months at that point, and, so my confidence was shattered. I just thought, I don't know if I was ever gonna get another job again. It was very, it definitely is very mentally taxing, and,
Certainly
um, you
is.
know
Yeah.
it's really upsetting, and then you keep seeing more people getting laid off, so then it gets even scarier. Um, so you just have to somehow keep faith. I mean, deep down inside, I still had a little bit of faith, but it was tough.
It's hard, right?
Yeah.
Layoffs, like, they destroy you, not just financially, that you lost the
Right.
income, but the emotional toll of it, the isolation of it,
Yes.
the mental side of it. There's a lot that's involved in a layoff, much more than just losing the financial income of the job.
Definitely. Yes. Yeah, and I don't think you really realize that, obviously, until you go through it. At first you're kind of like, all right, I'll get another job. But then as the months go by, you're right, it's very taxing, just on everything, financially, mentally, emotionally. And um, so, yeah, it was a struggle.
And then you landed the job, and then we focus on other things after you got that job as well, right?
Right, it was more about my personal life, and, I'm someone who I'm an introvert by nature, I guess you could say, so it's hard for me to just get out and meet people, and, I live in Denver, and I've only been in this area for around 4 years now, and I still haven't really pushed myself that much to get out. So, the more we spoke, the more I realized I really had to do that, and that gave me the encouragement to, go out, try to do some volunteering, just trying to go social places to meet people. Um, and so that's really helped. I've built up a few new friendships. And need to get back to the volunteering. I just haven't really had the time, believe it or not. So it's been good all the way around, not just for the job aspect of it, but for the whole life aspect of it.
Yeah, I remember one session you had mentioned a certain organization that you had hoped to volunteer for, and I went online. I found one in your neighborhood of that organization. Said they're having an open house for volunteers on this date before our next session. I want you to register, right? And you did,
Right.
and you went, and it was,
Right.
this was okay. We got the job. Now let's improve all of life.
Absolutely. And it was great. I went, and I know I met some really great people there at the night I went to the open house that they had. So Again, just another way for me to meet people, and that's really what I need to be doing is to force myself to get out and also to network because you never know with jobs in this day and age. So it's always good to network as well and to meet people.
Exactly,
Um,
exactly.
so,
Well, I mean, networking is not what can you do for me today? It's relationships built over
right,
time,
right.
right?
That's so
So,
true.
and the more you invest in that, the more rewards you can gain from that on so many levels, right? Professional level, personal level, socially,
Right, you're right. I mean, it's just I think getting yourself out there, regardless of the social situation or if it's a work situation or whatever. It's just a great way to meet people, and through that you are networking. So
for sure. For
yeah,
sure. With rather than just, "Hi, I just met you. What can you do for me now?" It's much
right,
more of
exactly,
a common interest. We're working together, we're volunteering together, and through that, that's where the networking, the friendships, the partnerships happen.
right.
So, what is your advice for anybody that is going through a layoff or has been through a layoff?
The first thing I'd say would be, be kind to yourself. Um,
It's important.
Keep the faith. It's very, very hard, and, believe me, I understand, but you do have to keep the faith. Something will come along, if can figure out what may be preventing you or stopping you or not helping you, I should say, to get a position, then, you really need to kinda dig down and try to understand what it is, and then, certainly talk to Cindy about it. You do that 45-minute, free call, that's just a great way to kind of talk to you and to understand, you can see what the issues are.
Right.
Just from the call, you could tell what my issues were. And
Right.
that's
That's right. That's what we do. Yeah. Exactly.
right.
Thank you. Yeah. Mhm.
So I would say, definitely that was really what brought me into focus and helped me with this to get the job. So I think you really have to kind of dig deep and try to understand what it is that you think is causing you from not getting the job. And again, don't spend every day and night doing it. Take a few hours every day and really focus on the jobs you want. Don't do the whole what is it,
Spray and pray.
praying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I did that for a while, and I did get a lot of interviews, but it really didn't matter. I wasn't really helping me get the job. So, and then as I became more focused, that's when it did help me get the job, focusing on more jobs that are just really geared to what I wanted to do.
So a lot more targeted, a lot more direct, a
Right.
lot more intention, right?
Yes,
Doing everything
exactly.
about your job search with intention, recognizing, like we saw in your case, was mostly the interviews, right? Recognizing what's working, what's not working, where do I need to improve in this? Because being able to do the job really well, like you've been doing HR your whole life, it's very different than
Right.
getting the job. You
Very
need to
different.
display, you need to market yourself to get that job.
Yes, absolutely. You have to go in with a good attitude and, yeah, like you
Stories
said,
and
really, um,
stories.
yeah, right. Stories, yeah, that helped a lot. Just doing the metric thing, explaining how, putting an HRIS system really helped the company save them 20% in time or whatever it was. Those
Exactly.
type of things those are exactly what I needed. And that's what I think put me over the top to get me the job. So those are the kind of things, if you're not doing that now, definitely start doing that. Made
Well,
a big difference.
exactly. Thank you for that advice. It's gonna be helpful for so many. Any
Yeah.
final words? Any final words about what the most impactful thing was that you got from us working together?
I just think it just really helped build up my confidence. When I first started with you, my confidence was pretty low. And then at the end, it was much higher and I just felt much better. And it's made a big difference on, just mentally, I'm in a much better place now. So that I thank you for that because that really did help.
Well, you are most welcome. It was such a pleasure working with you. I know that you got the job. It was like 2 months and you got the job.
Yes.
And then we felt which was such a relief after like over a year of looking for
Oh
a
my
job.
God. Yes.
And then we
What a
could
relief.
relax and focus on all the other things like the volunteering and all the other things in personal and social life, which was awesome as well. So I
Right.
wish you continued success. I
Well,
know that
thank
you are
you.
going to be absolutely amazing at this startup.
Well, thank you. I definitely appreciate it, and I'm happy to help anyone at any time.